Let's talk about one of the biggest financial decisions you'll probably ever make, buying or selling a home. It's this wild mix of emotions, right? Super exciting, but also, let's be honest, pretty stressful. Today, we're going to dive into a really unique way of navigating the real estate market, specifically in the Sacramento area, and it comes from someone with a very unexpected background.
Yeah, if you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that feeling. One minute you're dreaming about the future, and the next you're buried in paperwork, feeling a little bit of anxiety creep in. And that's because the stakes are just so incredibly high. And you know what? That stress is completely valid. We're talking about a massive financial move, one of the biggest you'll make in your life. It's a high-stakes journey where every single little detail really matters. Because this isn't just about signing papers and hitting deadlines. It's about where you're going to build your life, find your community, and lay down your financial roots. We're talking about your future here, and that's exactly why finding the right guide to help you through it is absolutely crucial.
So who is this guide? Well, his name is Klingberg, and his path to becoming a realtor in the Sacramento and Yolo County areas is, well, it's not what you'd expect at all. And it's this non-traditional background that really shapes his whole way of doing things.
So he started out with a really solid foundation, studying economics with a focus on real estate at UC Davis. But then, instead of jumping right in, he spent about a decade in the hospitality industry and then 3 years as a caregiver. Now, you might think those are totally unrelated, but they actually gave him the perfect skill set for what he does now.
And this quote, this right here, really gets to the heart of his philosophy. That time as a caregiver wasn't just another job. It completely changed him. It taught him how to put someone else's needs at the very center of everything, and more importantly, how to see what they need before they even have to ask.
And get this, on top of all that, he didn't exactly have an easy start. He jumped into his career in June of 2022, which was right when interest rates were going through the roof. He had no family in the business, no connections. He had to build it all from the ground up. And that forced him to develop this incredible work ethic and come up with some really creative strategies just to make it.
So, what does all of this unique, non-traditional experience really add up to? Well, it creates what we're calling the Klingberg difference, a really specific philosophy that's designed to make the entire real estate journey better. He's built his whole approach on 4 really clear pillars. First, make it fun. Take the stress out of it. Second, educate first so that you feel empowered and confident, not confused. Third, be that friendly, approachable guide who's also a fierce, tough negotiator when it's time to advocate for you. And fourth, this idea of white glove service, which means the support doesn't just stop the second you get the keys.
And when you put the two approaches side by side, the contrast is, well, it's pretty stark, isn't it? On one hand, you have the typical transaction, stressful, confusing, and all about just closing the deal. But on the other side, you have his approach, which is all about making the experience enjoyable, empowering you, and building a relationship for life.
And that white glove service thing, it isn't just a buzzword. It's about real, tangible support. We're talking about help with all those little but crucial details, like setting up your utilities and mail, or sending you reminders about home maintenance, and giving you a go-to list of trusted vendors, plumbers, electricians, you name it, for life.
Okay, so a unique philosophy sounds great, but does it actually get results? Does it work for his clients? Let's take a look at the actual numbers, because a great journey should lead to a great destination, right?
Let's start with this number, 107. What is that? That's how many different groups came through a single weekend open house for one of his listings. That's nearly 200 people walking through the door. And that kind of traffic doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of a really detailed 20-step marketing plan.
And all that traffic created this amazing domino effect. It led to 43 private showings, and this is the most important part for the seller, it resulted in multiple competitive offers, which ultimately drove up the final sale price. That's what effective marketing actually looks like.
But the impact here doesn't just stop with the sale. Here's a different number that tells a whole other part of the story. After every single transaction, he donates $500 to a local charity that his clients get to choose.
This is so cool because it turns every sale into this positive ripple effect that spreads out into the community. That support goes to all sorts of important local causes, everything from animal shelters to health initiatives all across Yolo and Sacramento counties.
So all of this really points to a much bigger idea. It's about moving past the mindset of just a one-and-done transaction. It's about thinking long-term, about building your future.
And if there's one single piece of advice he stresses more than anything else, it's this: success is all in the preparation. Seriously, the work you do before you even start looking at houses or putting your own on the market is what truly determines how well things turn out in the end.
So, what does that actually look like? Well, for buyers, it means getting pre-approved for a loan and actually understanding the contracts before you're in a rush. And for sellers, it means making smart, strategic improvements and getting inspections done ahead of time to avoid any surprises. It's all about being proactive, not reactive.
And this really frames the whole thing in a new light, doesn't it? The goal isn't just to find a house. It's about using this one massive decision as a powerful tool to build generational wealth for your family. It really makes you rethink the whole thing. The question suddenly isn't just, where do I want to live? It becomes, what strategic move can I make today that will best secure my family's financial future for decades to come?